Here, is that here?
It's actually starting. I'm
started.
a magician.
Quick transition. Push. Flawless, flawless. If you're just joining us, welcome to our first game of the group stage of the invite bracket. It is Svift, it is King's Crew on process, and the first thing I see on mid, on Bragg, is Zilly is just winding up, ready for the big bomb to kind of draw some space for the team, and here it comes. But it's both of the soldiers actually time at the exact same time, and they kind of diverge themselves. They don't really pay attention to what else is going on in the mid, and during all of that, Svift are allowed to just set off and just crawl all over King's Crew, and you can kind of see like the DM showing off just a little bit there in that fight.
Really dominant mid here from Svift, but with AIM already beating up the kill streak with the 2 frags on this mid. Maybe he's going to go up to 23 once again. We can see Yai just securing that second point for his team. This Medic didn't die though. We can see Slice Rock still up with a fully charged Uber for King's Crew, so Ubers are going to be the same, and it's going to be maybe the first stalemate of the map. We can see change already setting up, you know, the holds. So it's going to be up to Svift to see what they want to do, how they want to break it. Are we going to see a trade? Are we going to see some sacks and maybe some offlasses? We're going to get answered in like the next few seconds. Yeah,
it's looking pretty cookie cutter right now. Oh, the medic actually gets launched up into the air. He might be taken out. Oh, what? It was a very nice dodge, but they don't actually commit to holding on to the Uber. It was just too much of a scary situation. They will throw in Oki to actually see if he can get a kill, and they will get a trade onto the player, but that's not the player they were looking for on Bragg. They wanted that medic, and the medic has popped Uber just because everything was just too much for him, and both of the medics will keep themselves alive, but a bit of casualties on both sides, but I don't think this is going to lead to anything for either teams on Bragg.
Yeah, really nice aggressions here from King's Crew, and if he's killing Hi-Fi, who was trying to sneak in last and maybe trying to get something happen. But yeah, really nice answer here from King's Crew. I think Laz was hiding on last. Yeah, you got that kill. But so now it's going to be King's Crew maybe trying to make their way to the second point. It's going to be really hard for them to do anything here, because even if they're 1 up, this is hardly enough to push from, and Yai knows about it, just finishes Oki was trying to make their way into second. I'm expecting Swift to just like stop the aggression and just salvage and reset the situation.
Well, you do see King's Crew being very proactive though, actually trying to attempt to make these pushes out in second, and you see Svift just as proactive as they were kind of poking from that one door, but won't commit in fully and decide to just back off, get those numbers back up, and then make another repush of it. But during all of that little downtime, the Ubers have come back up for both teams.
And we can see some attempts.
Yeah, we've got some an interesting approach coming out from one of these teams here. We'll see if they if it pays off in the end. But
from actually both teams, we can see it's going to be up to who's getting the best DM here in this situation. Buttmud is making his way. He get a frag onto Felon, nice headshot. Another headshot onto Yimi. Buttmud is unstoppable. And can he do that?
Oh my god, medic,
he's just standing here. The medic
is still on that
one! The medic, what is Buttmud going completely crazy on this kill streak? 3 people, 3 frag from bottom. He's only up with high five though. Everybody dies somehow.
Oh, he gets the soldier as well! Somebody stop the man! Buttmud, he's on the kill path right now. He wants to get more blood. He will finally be slain. Can nobody see this man on Bragg?
That was crazy. Kind of I didn't really understand. Like, he picked into lobby, he got 2 headshots, and no one was really pressuring him somehow, and he was kind of unstoppable. We were talking about the sniper maybe before this game began. It looks like Buttmud is just winning it right now.
It's the loud noises on Bragg. Once they go over, they're like, there's a what? So they can't even know that the sniper's there because there's just too many loud noises in the LAN environment. We need some noise-cancelling headsets on the job.
And now the situation is settling down a bit. We can see both teams in an even situation. Once again, the kill streak from Buttmud wasn't enough to break the hold. Everybody dies on Swift for some reason. I didn't really catch it, but yeah, it looks like King's Crew somehow managed to answer the situation. Buttmud is going really, really deep on last. It's getting punished by Oki, but how can he go this far for this long? Buttmud, what are you doing? You're going crazy right now.
I mean, he's just got like 3 or 4 headshots in that last little sniper exchange. I think he's entitled to a bit of a dash in at an attempt at the medic's life there. So he will go down, however, but he can always come back up, he could always go back to his other classes. You know, he's got many options to him, but we'll see what sort of option he decides to go with. Well, meantime, King's crew, they none the wiser. They have to just hope that he can adapt. And the first shot actually rings out from bot mode, so they should know of his presence right now, but he has to deal with Phelon, who's also playing that sniper role. They have spotted each other though, so they should be pressuring each other just by passively. Oh, a nice little link-up play by bot mode, very well called to from his team, and they're trying attempts at this one player. Bot mode is so scary right now. They're just trying to throw anything to just sway him away from this door, but he isn't giving up. He sees the heal beam, he sees some of these injured players, and he wants to pick them off, but they're making it hard for them over on King's crew, and they're doing actually a very good job of just making the sideline hard. And oh, actually picks up the kill onto Phelon. That's going to open up the play for the sniper. Now he actually dives in. If he got that headshot, I would have thrown this TV out the window on Brack. That was just too insane of a chance for him to take there.
Interesting decision from Anif. He's not the demo man from King's crew is not running the regular launch pipe. He's running the lock node actually. So maybe that was an answer to both one and sniper, or maybe he was running it right at the start of the game. But yeah, no matter how crazy bot mode is going right now, King's crew somehow still holds the last, and it's been already 6 minutes turbo tabs, and we haven't seen anything from Swift apart from bot mode hitting some shots.
I mean, just to draw your attention on Brack, there is actually a secondary timer in TF2 where if you spend so much time, oh, a headshot rings out from bot mode again, just to remind you that he's still in this game, he's still playing sniper, and he's still a force to be reckoned with. So, but there's a timer ticking on Brack. 4 minutes for one of these teams to actually make a change in this environment. Oh, actually Svift are getting a lot of back-to-back kills here, and they could actually make an attempt at this last point right now. They're lacking the players to defend the last point. They need to hold close to these doorways and not let anybody in. Oh, nice pick-off by these scouts here, just dodging the majority of these rockets. But bot mode is still alive on Brack. He's taking pot shots at all of the red team, and King's crew, they're just kind of panicking almost. Oh, he goes for the attempt on the medic, but doesn't quite find it. He's finding these straight picks, but not just the game-winning picks on Brack.
It looks like King's crew is trying to make their way into second. Maybe this is their window now. They don't really want to start in their last forever. And a really nice aggression here from King's crew. They're all stacking the point. Everyone from Swift, yeah, they don't make it. They was just hitting and choke, but they didn't have a good enough position to contest back on that spire, and somehow King's crew made it out of their last, and now it should be another reset. Looks like the situations are even for both team, and bot mode this time went back to the regular class.
Yeah, so with that now, they tried to maybe approach these flanks, but they actually find a kill over in the face of this second point, and actually knocked Svift back onto the post. An Uber's actually popped out, but Svift will respond in kind with their own Uber. They're trying to pick off players in these sort of flank areas over on Svift. Very nice play. Go for the players that aren't invincible right now. They do keep the medical life for King's crew, but they need some bodies. They need some fragging classes if they want to hold on to this last point. Nobody's focusing on the last point, but it's not about the last point on Brack. Who's capping second right now?
I think it's only one soldier is on second point, and it's getting contested by Oki actually, so maybe Swift won't be able to even get the second point. Yeah, Oki gets the frag on second point, so no cap for Swift. Hi-Fi was already too far forward on the last.
The medic's being chased.
Oh, it's really getting really bad for Swift now. Everyone is getting punished, and what a play from King's crew here, just kiting the push on last while Oki was contesting the second point, and now King's crew can make their way onto the mid completely uncontested.
It's always the plays that don't get seen that seem to be just stealing the show here. The fact that that soldier was managed to contest that other soldier on the point and make that cap point just a living nightmare to cap, it just bought so much time for them, and the respawn is to come back for King's crew and bring back this round.
So now the medic from Swift died in that situation, so King's crew, they know they have an Uber ad. It's going to be up to them to see how they want to push in that second point, and it looks like they're making the Uber has been used onto the top IT, and Yumi is chasing really hard with that Uber onto lobby, but is getting punished, and Oki dies as well, so now Botman with another frag onto Phelon. This is going to be really hard for King's crew to stay in this situation now. They have to go back as soon as they can, but AIM is just wrapping up that choke area, and is going to lead his team into the mid.
Oh, the trap has been sprung. They just really wanted those kills on Bragg. They were chasing so hard for them. The scout was invincible, but they managed to just delay him, bounce him around, and just land those couple of shots to turn the fight around. And then it had this sort of domino effect where everyone was just dying one by one. I did really like the play from Zilly as well, where he went behind and just kind of cut off these avenues of escape and brought some panic to the King's crew. I mean, if you've got somebody behind at that point, what do you really do? How can you really bring the game back to a structured mid defense when you've got someone to deal with on mid? So we've got a sniper slapped out. He's still looking for that first shot. I'm pretty sure they're aware of his presence right now. I did hear a few kind of shots attempted. They will actually pop off the Uber. They've got a nice advantage. They've already taken out one player with it, and this time they've capped the second point on Bragg. So this last point can definitely be called into question now, but they're turning around some of these kills over on King's crew. They just need to keep themselves alive and wait for the respawners, but the scouts are just peppering them all to death. It's up to this one last scout to fight off against two buff scouts, and who would have thought the two buff scouts win? It will actually go first round to Svift.
And what a round from Botmo once again. So we've seen him on Sniper, but there he was leading a charge with his medic and just killed everyone on last. So really nice play here from Botmo, and they took their sweet time, but Swift is eventually leading in this first map of the series, 1 round to 0.
Yeah, it was a long round, 12 minutes, usually quite unheard of when it comes to these sort of group stage games, but I mean, maybe this is all it takes for Swift to get the ball rolling now. They're probably starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with their PCs. They do meet some aggression coming in from Oki, but quickly cleaned up. He is by high five, and it still could go either way for any of these teams. It feels like the position is just a little bit better, but the health is so much healthier for Swift right now. It doesn't matter if you've got the best positions in the world on Bragg. If you've only got 2 stinking HP to hold it with, they actually bomb into this medic. The medic can't get out. That's actually the medic down for King's crew, and they've kept their own medic alive. Skis is going to have that 100% Uber ready for this last point push, and if they cap second, there we go. Okay, everyone's kind of stacking the point at this point now. They're all going to blob up, just all enter a doorway, and at this point, just not drop is probably like the grand aim here for Swift as they're making this push in.
And they want to take this Uber from lobby. It's been used onto one of the scout, but nothing is really accomplished with the Uber, and as I said, we can see Slice Rope dying to bot mode once again. It's just killing everyone, I guess, and now it's going to be up to Swift to try to stay alive. The frags are just piling up in front of Swift, and once again Aim is getting another frag, but Anif with one stickers gets 2 on his own, but it's on his own now, and it's another round, way more quicker round this time for Swift, and they just shown how good of a team they are. They just guided the aggression from Kings front mid, and from this they just rolled straight to last.
Have you seen these turns coming from Swift on Bragg? It seems like they enter in an initial fight, things aren't going too well for them, they back off, and then when they get chased by King's crew, they just get meat grinded by the rest of Swift and just make these massive turnaround plays, and some hot streaks coming out from players like Aim that we talked about earlier. Anyway, another mid, another attempt, another time for King's crew to maybe bring this game back, as they are just kind of getting in the faces of Swift right now. Yite has been pressured, and he actually has been picked off. Maybe with this demo man advantage, they could still bring this back, but they've lost the medic, and surely the play it is now for Swift is just to keep their medic alive, but he's got 2 scouts to deal with. Oh, it's actually just the 1 scout now, and you've, oh, actually, no, he got cleaned up as well. You've got an if on that demo man, and it is a cruel game where you have to play a demo versus a scout sort of fight, and you've got a medic as well thrown into the mix.
Both mode, I mean, before the game started, you asked me who was gonna step up for Swift, and I answered Bob, but I don't know I was gonna be this right. I mean, it's been unstoppable so far.
I think nobody could have seen this coming on Bragg, you being this right in a video game. All right, so it's 2-0. It's 15 minutes left. You can't surely be counting yourself out if you're Kings crew right now. You've played a good game at the start of this game. It's just these rounds have snuck up on you. Maybe they can still make this turnaround. They're looking towards their Roma for this bomb in, but won't really find the
Aim with the 1 HP, just survived full damage, and it looks like the push is coming from the first door. Uber has been used as a high five. He's going to be really difficult to the demo man. Gets 1 frag already. and now he's trying to go for the medic. Another try from high five, and even if his medic dies in that process, this is really good for Svift. If they can just get...
Oh, that was a fat pipe landing on both of those scouts. They're turning around that last push fight. It looked like they could maybe hold on to it for that last little second there, despite losing the Demo Man so early on King's Crew. But when that pipe came in, so did that. Any chances of that round being held on by King's Crew?
Yeah, Svift needed some time to get into that game, but now that they're in, then they're not planning to get out of it. Just getting as many rounds as they can and as quickly as they can, and just everything is working out for them so far.
I mean, keep in mind, this was Swift's pick, so in theory, they should be really good at this map. They should feel this is the map they're most comfortable on out of all the banned maps that was left over. So let's hope that maybe King's Crew could still prove them wrong. 14 minutes is still a long time. They will throw in the soldier of Velon, and he's doing a better job than AIM. He's actually got a pick for them to work with now, and a lot of trades happening, and it will slowly go the way, but the health is quite low on King's Crew, but it's only Skis alive, and Skis does the safe thing, the reasonable thing, goes back to last, holds on to that 62% advantage, and maybe they can make another push into second, well, not just mid, but second point with that Uber now.
It's a change. He's trying to peek on second, see what's happening, but just doesn't really try. He was on his own, so he was just calling for his team. Slife with a really, really bad Uber disadvantage, so it's going to be Swift pushing into that mid, really dominant mid once again. Like I said dominant because they almost won that mid, Swift. It really came down to the wire, and now they're just making their way onto the mid. Uber has been used onto AIM, but just because of one soldier bombing in. So
wow, that was nice play coming out for Velon. The fact that he delayed so much time, forced the Uber, maybe got some damage out for his team as well. It is a bit of a back cap of 10. Again, another nice play from King's Crew, because that kind of wasted the power of that Uber there. Any ground that they claimed back from that Uber, it would have been lost going back for that back cap.
Yeah, nice attempt here. That was actually quite worth it from King's Crew. I actually really like what they're trying to do. Like, even though there's 3 rounds down, I think like this is a bit rough on them because they've been trying interesting stuff so far, and now they're going to add the Uber ad, so they're going to try to make a good use of it. They're going from PC. Uber's getting used really, really early, so it's not really ideal for King's Crew. They can't really get any frag out of this. We can see Postmode was just surfing through the ad. It's finally getting cleaned up by Oki, but there's still only one pick onto the scout with the full Uber charge. So
Obrak, they almost have their own Uber, and they haven't quite capped that point. It's got to be scary if you're over on King's Crew now. And AIM, he doesn't really want to use the point. They will actually be forced to use it now by the attempt by Change and Velon. And is that a back cap they got going? Well, so King's Crew just sticking to their guns of back capping this game, but Svift just do exactly what they did last time, clean up that player. They do lose all that progress on mid, but they've got a Demo Man down for King's Crew, and that's quite a huge force when it comes to the defense of these points. So I'm sure they're feeling quite happy over on Svift to actually take this mid point, but the mid advantage, where if you actually hold on to the mid point, you get a forward respawn, and you can see it paying off for King's Crew there. So a lot of trades, a lot of smart trades coming out for both of these teams here.
And King's Crew, they know they have the Uber ad, and even though they won down, maybe this is the opportunity they need to come back into that game, trying to make the best use of the Uber. But Velon dies on the flank, and now I see bombing coming, and the Uber has been used by Slice Frog, and once again, I feel like the Uber has been used really early and not in an ideal situation, and Swift again perfectly kite of the situation.
I mean, this is a horrible place for a Demo Man to be right now. He's actually making a good go of it. This scout is kind of sweating a little. He has to bring his friend in. He actually brings in his another friend from the other side as well. They've still got that Uber, keep in mind, on Bragg. They didn't have to use it pushing this midpoint. That's the difference now compared to all these mids that they attempted before. So they don't have to back cap to deal with as well. They will finally get this midpoint. But with 10 minutes left on the clock, surely King's thinking, can we actually bring it back at this point of the game?
Well, if they want to come back into the game, they really need to make a bit of use of the Ubers, because so far they've been using really early and not making anything really happening with it. So while Swift in their charge, they were already always getting 1 or 2 frags, and now Ubers has been used once again with AIM getting the frag onto the knee, and Botmod maybe on the flank getting Finland as well. They're playing the cap, and there's actually a lot of cap time already until the last. Yeah, just launching the soldier into the air and just capping this point, and we can see the difference between the two teams here, just making a better use of their Uber.
I mean, why kill them on back when you can just push them off the point,
Exactly.
launch them into the air, take them out of the game?
Well, logs.
Spiritually.
Mostly logs.
Mostly logs. All right, it is 4-0. It is 10 minutes left. I mean, it's probably feeling pretty down in the dumps if you're on King's Crew, but it's not over until it's over. So who knows, maybe we'll see one of the greatest comebacks of TF2 we've ever seen, and it has to start right now on Brack. And the first thing I'm seeing on this mid is AIM just taking charge of this top area. They get some good pressure onto the combo of King's Crew already. They've lost 2 players without losing a single casualty or even much health on Svift as well. They're forced on King's Crew to actually back off, but King's Crew aren't given a choice in this. Svift are actually getting clean up kills on King's Crew as they're trying to back out. They do manage to keep the medic alive, but they just lost so much during all of that.
Yeah, I5 and Botmod just being perfect scouts right now, just protecting the medic against the soldiers the best way they can, and this is probably why they're winning so far. Swift just relying a lot on their scouts. AIM is actually taking the super to last.
Yeah, he's actually got some nice. Oh wait, is that a force coming out from Sincargrove? It's just Sincaria. It's a hard net. It's a hard net. Okay. The red medic got forced at some point.
No, he wasn't.
Wait, he wasn't forced. I'm just
sorry.
blind. I'm just
sorry.
short-sighted.
Yeah, just AIM saw the opportunity to go on his own and trying to force the medic, trying to surprise Slice Rogue and the rest of King's Crew. But unfortunately for him, it didn't really happen. He got cleaned up by the scout. So that was a nice attempt here, and him dying doesn't really hurt Swift anyway.
Yeah. Now, when you've only got 8 minutes left on the clock on Brack, how can you kind of speed up the pace of the game to kind of bring forth a comeback? Is it best to just be patient and hope the enemy team does a mistake, or do you just have to be more proactive? What's the best attempt here?
Well, they have to be proactive. I mean, it's only 8 minutes remaining, and they're 4 rounds down, so it's not much time to win 4 rounds. So they have to make something happen. They have to be proactive.
What's a good way of forcing fights here? Do you think maybe we should turn to some unlocks, perhaps?
I think they have to take a shred and hope for the best. So it's not really the ideal situation, of course, because it relies a bit on the luck. And Yimi just tried to go in, but got completely melted by High-Five. So this isn't looking really good right now.
The boogeyman is back on Brack. It's bot mode. He's playing that sniper class, and King's Crew, they're probably going to be going to sleep tonight with nightmares. They actually pop in the Uber. They want to just get rid of this guy. No more sniper, please, for the love of God. But they get a nice milk from Svift. Maybe that isn't such a bad trade, all things considered. They get on top of the Demoman. That's the Demoman taken out. That's a massive asset for King's Crew to actually hold on to this last point, but they haven't got many players to actually abuse the Demoman going down there, so they will lose out on that attempt at last, but it's looking mighty close for Svift getting the clean 5-0.
But it's already peeking again from sewers. It's been called by the soldier, so it's going to be up to King's Crew to try to deny the sniper, but no one is really looking for him, and Slice Rogue on the ground was just picked up by the soldier, and now it's going to be really easy probably for Swift to just win this round. They had to play around their medic, and they're doing it perfectly. It's only Yimi up right now. He's trying to fight on seconds. He's getting launched into the air, and Botmod cleans it up with a clinical body shot.
Yeah. Don't you just love those puzzle games where it's just the only puzzle is used gone on? So 5-0 finally ended out by Svift invoking that Mercy Wall, and Svift kind of showing off their dominance. The DM there, the scariness of Sniper on LAN